I want to say published, but that's not right.
When was Encino? Nobody knows this. Pauly Shore and Brendan Fraser don't know this.
My phone has been put down.
Oh, well, you're live, of course.
So I can't Google it.
Welcome to another episode.
Somebody Google it.
All right, Corey wants to know when Encino Man was on the big screen. I'm going to say 88.
No, 90s.
Is it too early? 88 was too early? I don't know.
I want to say 96. But I don't know. I don't know how to. I can't. I put my phone down.
Well, I'm sure somebody out here in...
Welcome, everyone, in the live chat. Let us know where you're watching from.
And if you have any strange insight into the makings of Encino Man.
And if you have Googled when Encino Man was published. That's not
It's
correct.
not too late to run. You could... I mean, there's like 2 doors out of here if you decide.
I really feel like I have boogies or something.
All right.
So if that happens, I'm sorry.
And there's another...
It's not an episode of the Craft Cast if we don't talk about bodily fluids of some kind.
In the intro, do you just have this weird tick?
I figured just get it out.
All right.
Let them know what's coming. Like a ton of bricks.
All right.
Hello, everyone. I swear, we just like to have an intro to let people trickle into the live chat. So, what?
Oh, nothing. I was just trying to figure out what a trat was.
I'm a little nervous because we're live on YouTube.
Why? You've done this before.
I get it. I do every time.
Yeah, well.
So I've been asked several times to do a shoulder update. If y'all don't know what
1992,
that is.
by the way.
1982?
92.
1992. Oh,
Pretty much split the difference between where we were. We were both 4 years off.
Yeah, well...
Anyway, go ahead and talk about yourself now.
I'm sorry. Is this not my YouTube channel? I mean, you're in every episode. What else do you want from me?
Just talk about your shoulder.
Okay. So some of you might know that I have something called frozen shoulder. I didn't know what frozen shoulder was until I got frozen shoulder. But apparently it happens to women in their 40s. So there were a couple other things that might have come into play. But so far I've had it about a year. A little over a year.
Yeah, I mean, it was right around the time that you went in the hospital last summer.
And that's been a year.
And that was a year in July. So, yeah.
So, I don't know. What would you say? So this arm can go straight up. This is my non-dominant left arm. But this is my dominant right arm. And this is as far up as I can go.
She's not a very good Y, is she?
It's pretty good.
Can you do the M?
I can do a Y.
How about M?
No. That
C?
hurts. I used to be able to do M. I could do C.
Isn't that a backwards C?
C.
There you
go. But
you can do the A. Go ahead, finish it out.
Superhero pose is a little tough. Like, this is as far as my shoulder will let me stand straight up. And then I can't, but that's, and I've recently been able to, if I try really hard, I might be able to get to my bra strap, but it's tight. But that's really a lot of progress.
I mean, it really is. For what they told you was basically going to be a really long, likely couple of years if you took the non-surgical route.
Right.
It is, I mean, you're probably, I'd say you're better than halfway through it. As far as better than halfway is.
I think I'm a little bit more than,
range of motion.
I've got about more than 50% range of motion.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's different in some areas, like back here. I can finally kind of reach to wash my whole head, with one arm. But, and then the more I is this weird?
No, because you're talking about like you're talking about your success, right? And how you can wash your hair without too much of a problem.
Yeah.
And I just keep thinking of all the times I've seen you in the shower with this like smattering of purple, onto the side of your head because
I can't reach.
You couldn't reach it, right? So you got like this.
Yeah. Well, I've stopped asking you for help to get dressed.
And for a lot of things too.
So, I feel like that's a bonus. I mean, I am still in pain a lot of times, but all in all, I'm probably at that point where people start to give up because they've got enough of it back that they stop working towards more.
I think that's one of the reasons why people that have the surgery that take the surgical option. I think that's why they have such a big bounce. They get all of that motion back. And then they lose another 10 or 15 of it, after they've been kind of broken loose.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you don't really earn it. You're not working those muscles back to get yourself to break it all back loose again.
So, but yeah, so that's
No
my
shortcuts.
shoulder update. I'm sure there's lots of people that are like, I don't care about this.
Well, I mean, Tracy has frozen shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah, and
I know a lot of people that are friends with me online that have frozen shoulder, and they do ask me about it. So I was about due for an update. She went to zipper
fronts on her bras.
Yeah, so I've started mostly wearing loose, well, because I don't go anywhere now. Sports bras, and what I'll do is I'll stretch it out to get my arm through, and then get it over my head. That way,
climb in through the top, which is weird.
I do a lot of weird stuff. And yes, I have those bandeau because I'm not so well endowed that I can wear like a bandeau bra. I have options. Okay, right. Fair. I have more options. So, you got to take the good with the bad. But I kind of climb into those and pull it up. But even that motion is tough. This right here. Yeah, well. Yeah.
Pretty much straight up a shoulder exercise.
I mean, for those that don't know, it affects, for me, all the like muscles from my neck down to my fingertips and then down into my back and into my chest too.
In through the rib cage, across the upper chest. Yeah.
So it's like the right side of my body is just in a really tight like stance.
Yeah, that upper quarter really. Yeah.
So it doesn't want to loosen up. And the procedure is called a manipulation, where they put you under anesthesia and they make your arm do things that it doesn't want to do naturally right now. And then you're supposed to go to 2 a day, like PT, physical therapy, twice a day for like 2 weeks. Right after starting the day of procedure. So it's a lot to take in. And right now that's considered an elective procedure because that would be an elective thing to have your right arm back.
Right. You don't need that one.
So, I don't know. I have to go get a second opinion from the cardiologist before we go there, which is a whole nother video.
Forget about it.
But that's my shoulder update. Anyway, also, I don't have anyone to refer you to today because I want to take this time where I would encourage you to check someone out online. I'm going to say, go outside and play because that's what we've been doing. Yeah. And we're having a lot of fun kind of rediscovering things that can be done outside right now. We went to the park. There are some of the, depending on where you are, we went to the park. Parks are open here now. And so we're having a good time offline. It's
been nice to just go outside too. It's been nice to do things with the kids a little bit more that aren't, sitting around playing a video game or watching a movie. While, of course we all know there's plenty of that going on.
Oh yeah, there's the screen time in this house is outrageous right now, but I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, well, I think that's all of us. I think everybody with kids right now is suffering through that same process.
I don't want to add to the screen time at all. I want to encourage people to go outside.
Right. Go out and have some fun.
Get some sun. Vitamin D helps us in a lot of ways.
Yep.
So that's my inspiration to you this month is go outside. Yeah. And we're going to go outside. We're going to take a vacation in a couple of weeks. So I know that there's, it's a weird time for travel right now, but
I don't think it's weird. I mean, worst case scenario, we're gonna go and hunker down in a different house that's been professionally cleaned. So that's our default. So if things get hairy, we got a place to go and plenty of things to do at that house. So that's what we set it up for.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so excited. And okay, so my friend Tiffany, who's here with us today, who is going to show us how to make tumblers, she made me this awesome tumbler, and I wanted to show it off. So I took a video of it on. Are we on the down facing?
You can be.
Okay, let's do that.
All right.
Here?
Yeah, that's.
It says, "When you wish upon a star," and Tiffany is going to show us how she did this today. Anything else, Timmy?
I don't know. This is your show.
Well, Tiffany,
you
you want to
supposed to
come on
tell me?
over and start talking some tumblers? Tiffany and the Tumblers.
Excellent. Be a good band name, actually.
Hi there.
Hello.
How are you, dear?
So, it's a little weird to talk to the
camera.
to the stick figure camera, okay? But, that's them, that's the people in the live chat or the people watching on replay. So just, how did you get started making tumblers?
I actually got to start making tumblers because we took a trip to Disney and I wanted to make something for everybody that was going on our trip. So I decided that I just got a wild hair and I was like, I'm just going to buy all the stuff and just wing it.
That's what happens.
And I did, and I loved it. So now I, of course, have gotten into it a little bit more. I bought another machine. So it's creative and I enjoy it. Can be stressful, but
yeah, for the most part, I think hobbies are like that. Like, depending on what level you want to take it, So sometimes I shy away from interactive cards because it takes a lot of thought. And sometimes there's frustration there, and whenever I get frustrated, I don't want to do it. So I avoid it. So I look for easier fixes, easier ways to spend my time.
Yeah.
So what's the first step of making tumblers?
First step is you have to have the equipment to be able to do it. You need a machine to be able to turn your tumblers. It's just a turner. That's all it is. You turn it on, and these will actually turn slow. With the epoxy, you have to have it turning constantly because it is a self-leveling epoxy. If you just let it sit, it's just going to completely just run off, and you're going to have a huge pile of mess.
So besides the turner, what other tools are we going to use tonight?
Today we're going to use, of course, the epoxy. It's a 1-to-1 ratio epoxy that I have back here. I just used a tabletop epoxy that I got off of Amazon. And everything that I have bought to start off all came from Amazon. The only thing that I don't buy from Amazon is my tumblers. I actually buy them off of a different avenue. But so what you want to start with is, of course, your machine. A regular stainless steel tumbler. And what you want to do is you want to have a base coat put on for these guys. And you would just use regular old spray paint.
Oh, and this
Give
is
it the
this
Krylon touch.
contraption here, down here.
Yes. So doesn't matter. It can be matte. It can be glossy. It can be whatever you have in your closet. If you want it to be an undertone, it's just the undertone to get the silvers out. So this is my crazy little contraption that I created.
I love it.
Out of PVC. Awesome. And what you do is you can take these and take them outside.
Are they pool noodles?
And pool noodles. Put your tumbler on, and then you can leave it out, and then you can just spray your spray paint over top of the can.
Okay, cool.
So
awesome.
it just makes it easier
So
to...
this does, like, how many do you have for on at a time?
I have 2 sets of 2 tumbler or turners.
Oh,
so I could
neat.
do 4 cups at a time.
Okay. Well, we're going to be talking a little bit about mass production tonight, so.
So it's my little handmade machine.
Okay. So we have a tumbler and we have our equipment. So what's step 1? We're going to spray it with spray paint.
Which is what I've already done here.
Okay. So
and you
that's
can
this
see
one.
that it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can have runs in it. That's fine. You're not going to see them because you're going to cover them up anyway. You just wanted to have a base on your actual cup. Because if you just do it just the stainless steel, it's going to change the coloration of it. So if you're going with like for instance, this one has the black tones in it. And I believe this actually was spray painted white. So you can see the difference. Like this guy here. Oh, that's okay. It's just because of the way he's sitting. There. He wasn't going all the way. This guy was all the way spray painted. Actually, no, this one was, I'm wrong. He was half and half. I did half white and half black on this guy because of having such a light color and having such a dark color.
So you have different tumblers. You have the stainless steel one. Was this stainless steel?
That's stainless steel as well.
Okay. So is that basically what you start with, just stainless steel?
Use the same. That's what I have used. I haven't tried. Actually,
That's
no.
really cool.
I'm wrong. I've done a vase as well. That was glass. But that thing was huge, so I didn't
Do
bring him.
you do anything to protect the inside of the tumbler while you're spray painting, or?
I don't. What I will do is after I am done with the process, because there will be spray paint inside of the actual tumbler, is I'll go through and I'll sand it and make sure that I get all the paint spray off of it, and also do the edge to make sure that I get all the extra epoxy off of it, because some of these still need to be, this one needs to be finished, this one's not done. That just to make sure that you get all of the inside of the paint epoxy off of the actual inside of the cup.
So you
Got
just
it.
take sandpaper to get to get that out. Okay. So we have the base coat on there for whatever you want to start, black or white, gray.
Surprise.
So what's next?
Next would be to figure out what you're going to do. So for these, I've already done, because I'm making 3 cups anyway, so this was kind of perfect. Your first step is, of course, you do your spray paint, and you have to let that set for a few hours until the paint is fully dry. Next would be to design what colors you're going to put on it. I do have an array of paint colors that we're going to use that Corey's going to do, actually.
All right, well, let's start. Here, you
Okay.
switch since all the stuff's over there.
Yeah, but isn't the cup you're working on over there now?
This one?
Quit trying
Yeah.
to get out of it.
Do you want me to move it?
No, love. I just want you to be able to reach it. That's all.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm going to put you back over here, actually, because you're going to do this. So the other good thing about the actual machine is they can go in 2 different directions.
So the paint's just gonna go down here. And
Yep,
get
this
all
is just
messy?
a silicone mat. And the good thing about the silicone is the epoxy does not stick to it. So once it's a big giant mess and it dries, you literally just turn the mat and it'll just peel right off. So that's why you use the silicone mats underneath of it to get any, so it doesn't make your area messy.
You could put a piece of paper in there and smush it around and take and make a background.
You could. I've done that too. I've actually made a dish out of that. I took the extra epoxy that I had and poured it all together and let it semi-set up and then formed it into an actual dish. And it's in my daughter's room.
We had Lisa last month, and she had these beautiful like Sylvan Clay Works dishes. So now I've been watching like people make things out of clay. This is seriously,
No.
it's a problem.
Like, I don't need another one.
I'm pretty sure the woman that owned this house before had a kiln
She
down
did.
here.
Yeah, I mean, there
Seriously?
was no other reason why there would be a 50 amp breaker space down here that says kiln on it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the kiln's long been gone, but there was very heavy gauge wire run up into our dining room, where our dining room is now.
So this was a craft room before.
Yeah, this was definitely a crafty household.
Yeah. All right. So how do we make a mess?
Okay. So first off, you want gloves, which
Oh,
I think
do
are
I?
right.
Okay. I've been here before.
These are, and again, everything you can buy is mostly
Shot
either
glasses,
Walmart,
drinksters.
Amazon. Okay, so I have 3 different kinds of, these are just medicine cups that you can buy off Amazon. You can buy them in large quantities. It takes about 20 to 25 mils of epoxy to cover one of these 30 ounce cups. So with that, I mean, these are only 30 mil cups. So that's why I get the bigger ones.
Okay.
Now, that's if you're just doing a plain coat. If you're just doing a plain coat of one color or just a clear epoxy, it's going to be about that much.
Okay.
If you're doing colors, you need an extensive amount more because of the fact that you need enough to be able to pour it.
Okay.
So instead of doing a 20 mil, you're going to need like maybe a 60 or even maybe more.
Okay.
So that's why I have the different array of size cups. And I don't know why this is not.
Can we break it?
No, he's just not staying on for some reason. He does not want to stay in there.
It's the glitch. It's the required glitch.
Yeah,
Every
always
show
have to-
has one.
something
Usually
has
it's
to be
Corey.
messed up. The craft cast.
Yeah.
Something
Usually
has
it's
to be.
So-
usually it's
just
Corey
not-
forgetting how to say something.
And it's
Well, that's
fine.
already happened.
As long as he doesn't fall off. Even if he's a little wonky, it's okay. It'll still work.
Okay.
Okay, so we need our epoxy.
The shampoo and conditioner.
Shampoo and conditioner. I have these bottles just because it's a little bit easier to pour. And actually, if you want to give me a pair of gloves too, because
Okay.
I don't want this stuff on my hands. It just never comes off. Thank you.
I have rhino lining from doing the rhino lining on my truck on one of my toenails. I can't get it off. It's been there for like 3 weeks. I keep trying.
Every
I'm
time
like,
I see his feet, I think that he has a bruise or something.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What is that?
it's rhino liner. It will not come off of my damn toenail.
No kidding.
he
Unbelievable.
does also have a bruise about this big on his thigh because he slipped in the rain. And so that's why I'm extra like looking at his legs.
Trying to think. You're just checking out his legs.
I'm just saying.
Are you coming to show us your legs?
I'm tired of hearing about it. Look how good it looks.
Look at that.
Oh my god! See? That's huge!
This looks great. You should have seen it last week.
It's like the size of a cantaloupe.
It's actually getting better.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna make more epoxy than we probably need,
Okay.
but that's okay. So let's just do 60 and 60. Okay.
I'm pouring 60 and
Now with that guy, because this is the thicker one, this one you're gonna want to pour.
oh, okay.
That
Don't-
way.
Okay.
If not, your arms will be
And all the way up
burning.
to 60?
Fill it up to 60. Why not? And then we got the big cup that we can just mix it in.
Oh yeah, this is thick.
It's really thick. And you have to be, you want to try to be as precise as possible. And the reason I say that, if you have your epoxy that's not a 1-to-1 ratio, if you have it to where I would slow down
Ooh, okay.
a lot more.
Ooh.
Because it's going to fill up. All right, now just do a light, real slow. Actually, you're good. You're good.
You want to wipe that off?
Yeah, where's my
I got blue shop towels.
paper towels? I buy these in bulk because I use a lot of them.
Okay.
And then this one you can just squeeze out because it'll be easy. That one.
Squeeze out this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that one's thin. So if you do not mix them a 1-to-1 ratio, they can either be tacky, they can be kind of sticky as a result. My cup, which is my favorite cup, who I use daily.
I love that cup.
This is my favorite. So this one I did. This is my beachy one. I must have not done a complete 100% 1-to-1. You're good. Even if I'm off just a couple mils or whatever, and it just feels a little tacky. Oh, you have gloves on.
Yeah, I don't want to.
So you can feel it, and it just feels like it's got a little bit of a stick to it. It's gotten better over time, but just one of the learning curves that you want to make sure that you definitely do a 1-to-1 with your epoxy.
Okay.
Okay, so now you're gonna pour.
Pour them both into here.
Yep.
I feel like a mad scientist right now.
Uh-huh.
This is really quiet, the little spinny thing.
Yeah. My other one's not so quiet. It squeaks.
Yeah.
My husband will be downstairs occasionally. He'd be like, "What is that squeaking?" I'm like, "Oh, this is my turners."
We
Okay.
had a nest of baby birds in our in our
his
shed
outdoor
out
shed,
back.
yeah.
So give me this one.
Oh, so I
Scrape
need
her
to
out.
scrape
Yep,
it.
scrape it out as much as you possibly can.
They were just learning how to fly this morning.
It was
So
pretty
That's
neat to watch.
I mean, it's adorable. But
And where was this?
Right in our
in his
backyard,
well,
in
his
our-
office
in our
is
shed.
moving out into the shed. It's basically roofing materials right now.
Yeah, and a couch and
And a
birds.
couch.
Yeah. It's just
some
a
birds.
quiet place to escape the children.
I would get it as much of it out of that
As
cup as you
much.
can. Yep, just scrape the crap out of it. And this is just more of a, try to keep it of a 1-to-1. Okay. We'll swap. Go ahead.
Oh, and I need to squeeze this one too.
Mm-hmm. The trash can out? I don't want to put this in that. I'll just leave it here.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's fine. Did we lose him?
I think so. All right. So now when you mix your epoxy, it's going to start mixing and it's going to go ahead and start.
Stir.
Yep. And some people are, you need to stir slow because it creates bubbles. Other people are just like me. I'm just like, I'll just stir it and heat it later and I'll be fine. And it is. So, and I guess it also can depend on the brand of epoxy that you use, can cause a lot of bubbles. As you see, it's kind of cloudy. I don't know if you want to show them.
Okay.
That it's kind of cloudy.
He's coming.
Sorry, I had like one of those machine gun sneezes, and I didn't want to trip out all the audio and make the levels all trip out. I'm sorry about that.
So you can
The
see
down facing?
Yes,
that
ma'am.
it's cloudy right now. And she's going to keep stirring until it clears back up. Once it clears back up, that tells me that it's been fully mixed. And then we can start breaking apart and adding our colors. Now, for your colors, you can use all kinds of different avenues. You can use pigments. You can use like the metallic, like the not metallic, the powders.
Mm-hmm.
You can use the ink. What is that called?
Alcohol inks?
Alcohol inks. You can use those, or you can go to your regular old store and get your acrylic paints. Now, when you do your acrylic paints, you need to use a small amount. And the reason is the more paint you use, the thicker it makes your epoxy.
Okay.
So you don't want it so thick that it's difficult to actually pour.
Okay.
So, and then you don't want it too thin to where it just kind of blends and just goes away.
Uh-huh.
So you want it to be just a nice consistency, because you can see how thin that is.
Yeah.
And once you'll notice the difference when you actually pour in the paints, the difference of the thickness.
I have a lot of bubbles.
That's okay. That's why we have a heat gun.
Okay.
I don't worry about bubbles.
How's the smell over there? I knew that there was going to be a question about smell, and here it comes. So,
I don't smell anything.
No.
Yet.
It has a very, and again, I don't know if it has to do with the brand epoxy that I use. It has a very light smell to it. It's not strong. It doesn't give you a headache. It doesn't affect me in any way at all. I don't smell it. It doesn't bother me. I've never had an issue with it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cups.
is it really necessary?
We're learning her process.
Uh-huh. So we got our 6 cups. Well, I'm doing 6 colors. So I need 6 cups.
That was like 6 times the multiplicative problem that is likely to occur.
Who's making up words now?
Me.
Okay, so you want to pour equal amounts
In there.
in here.
Oh, boy.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Well,
Just-
if it's 60... Well, never mind.
Shh.
All right. Got it.
Pour a little bit more. You're going to need a little bit more than that.
Shoot for about 20.
There you go. You just want to have some that you can actually work with. Like I said, even if you have extra, it's fine. I try not to waste as much epoxy as I can, but I also bought silicone molds to help when I do have leftovers. I got shot glass molds.
Uh-huh.
So if I have a lot of epoxy left, then I can use and create
To make
my
the
own
shot
shot
glass.
glasses.
Yeah. That's neat.
Move that guy. Ooh, that's okay. It's okay. It's fine. That's the good thing. You can always add more, so it's fine. Even if we used, too much in one, you can always make more and add it in.
All right.
That's good. You can just leave that just for an
Okay.
extra. Okay. So here's your paints. Just make sure that they're all mixed well.
And do we just put a couple drops in each?
Yep, you just... Here, put it up here so they can see. And I'll just do this one.
Wow, that's a very small amount.
That's it.
And do we mix that?
Yep. You'll mix that one. And then you put the blue in and do all the other ones.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't take much to turn it.
So if I wanted this to be a more a darker green or a deeper of that color, could I add more?
No.
No.
It's not going to make a difference. The only thing it's going to do is change the thickness of the epoxy. It won't
That
change
makes
the
sense.
color.
And then, so this is the green stick.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you look at this, you can see how thin that is?
Yeah.
You might want to put more green in it because of how thin it is.
What consistency are we looking for?
You want it to be not runny. You want it to have just a little bit of a thick.
Mm-hmm.
Like pancake syrup? Thicker honey?
I wouldn't even say that thick.
Oh,
That might
really?
be a little bit too thick.
Really? That is way more green in real life than it is on the camera right now. Like that green, because what I could see in the camera right now looks like almost like a seafoam, like it's muted, but that is like a slime.
Neon green.
Yeah,
It is
neon.
like
It's
the neon.
Slimer.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, Slimer.
Yeah.
It
really
is
is.
very Slimer-esque.
Now see how it's gotten a little bit thicker?
Yes.
That's perfect. That's what you want.
Okay.
And even that's probably still a little bit too thin. But it's
Okay.
probably because of the actual paint itself, because of the color, because of it being like that neon color.
Tiffany,
Okay.
darling,
Yes, dear.
can you mix mediums like watercolor powder and ink? I don't know if you can do that in regular, on like normal things, but that's not my department. I'm just
Mix
asking a question.
together? Like to make a color?
Watercolors are transparent, so I think that
I've never used watercolors, so I would not know.
they're going to come out really light because this acrylic paint is
It's
seriously, yeah, it's like
But like some of those watercolors I've seen you use are tremendously pigmented.
They do have a lot of
You know what I
pigment.
mean? Like maybe,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
there is an avenue.
I would
there.
guess anything that's going to cause your pour, your little mixture here to have color of some kind
Yeah, it might be
or
worth it.
texture like glitter
Mm-hmm.
is going to add into the epoxy.
It's
That
like
looks
fishing
good. See,
lures
now
in
that one looks a little bit
See,
thicker.
yeah. I think it's just because of the neon green that's just causing it to...
Oh,
Do I want
no!
more?
We have contamination. Yep. We've contaminated.
That's fine.
This one's going to be a little bit more blue-green.
That's okay. It'll still work.
Till we need it.
Okay.
Oh, so we can see.
You could have told me to do that. Oop. I'm making a mess.
That's okay. That's the good thing about silicone. It doesn't matter how messy it is. I didn't bring my other mat because
I
my
have some
other mat
silicone mats too, yeah.
is just trash because of how much I've used it. Like I said, I have a huge vase at home, and it's orange, and
Purple?
I didn't want it orange. Yes, I have white in that one.
Okay, I see it.
I didn't want it orange. I wanted it purple to go in my Raven's room. So I took my other turner has 2 cups on one side. This one has 1 cup on each side.
Mm-hmm.
My other one has 2 cups on one side. So I took my turner and flipped it up on its side and put my vase on top of it and poured my epoxy down, around the top, so it literally would just come straight down around the vase. Oh, it turned out beautiful. I
That's
was
neat.
so happy the way it turned out.
You should send me a picture of that.
I will. Of course, it has its little imperfections because, it's huge.
Handmade!
It's huge for it's not meant to go on a turner. And you're black.
Black.
Oh, and you're white.
Oh, let me do this one.
Here, I'll do this one. Help you out.
Well, so far this looks like something that I've seen you do 8 million times.
Me?
Yeah, I mean, just mixing
Mixing
things
colors.
Up. I
Mixing.
mean, following relatively simple prescription.
Yeah.
Right? This is not complicated thus far.
Nope. I did a lot of YouTube videos. I messed up my first several cups.
YouTube University.
They went into the trash. So just the way it is.
So what's next?
Okay, so next we're gonna paint our cup.
Okay, so we got to put this back.
Uh-huh.
This is really a lot lighter than I thought it was.
Yeah, this one I just got. And this runs about $65 for this machine.
Tim, is this a better side to put the cup on?
I'm getting ready to look on it now. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
We're not going to be able to switch them, right? Later?
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, this cup here, you can see that I don't know if you can see the down camera, the waves are not just across. Like, I don't have one to show. Oh, yeah. This guy's more like it. The lines are more across it. This one's kind of like wavy. And what I did was I physically took it up and tilted it back down to give it this wave effect. So I did it I actually did it on accident, but I was like, ooh, I really liked it, so I tilted more and did it on purpose. So we'll take that guy
Happy
off.
accidents.
Yeah.
And my gloves are pretty clean, actually.
Yeah, they are now. They won't be. How do you think it gets smoothed on the cup? You wipe it on.
Oh, okay.
It gets messy. But normally I don't go through more than just one pair of gloves. Now the good thing is these turners will go either way. See, that one's going that direction.
Okay.
See, this one's going this way.
Is there a benefit to this?
Depends on how you feel as far as putting on your
okay.
epoxy. So if you like it more coming towards you,
Right.
I like it going away from me so I can kind of bring it around to kind of
like when
smooth
you're
it.
coloring which way you'd like to flick your marker.
Yeah. So I like mine going away from me so I can kind of just bring it around.
Okay.
Okay. Now, first off, you want to take your epoxy over there. Your
Okay.
clear.
My clear stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And with this guy, just want to get these out of the way.
Because it'll fall in.
Mm-hmm. All right, get this out of your way. All right, so now with this, you want to start pouring your epoxy on. And you can just do just like in lines, just to kind of put it on there. And you just want
pour it on.
Yep, just a very light layer. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use your hand and you're just going to, a lot thinner than that. A lot thinner. Because look how much, because we're just going to do a light layer because we're putting so much epoxy on.
A lot less than that?
Yep,
You
just
ever,
put
you ever
just
see
strings.
her pour a drink?
No. Strings.
In my mouth.
There you go, there you go.
She
Perfect.
she doesn't have a light hand at much.
Now don't go up there because you already have a ton up there. You're fine. You can always just blend it in. It's fine. But you want to try to get a nice even coat. See how it's dripping?
That's bad.
No, it's not bad. It's just messy.
All right, so...
And then you just want to take your hand and rub it in.
The suspense is killing me. What
I
happens
do
if? What
is
happens
I try
if
to do
the?
just smoother strokes, just to kind of lessen the bubbles.
Is that what happens as far as smoothing it out?
If you're rough on it, yeah, it can cause it to create more bubbles. But again, you have a heat gun to take it out.
Gotcha.
But just to try to save you some time.
What's your working time with something like this?
Depends, because I'm just so picky. It can take literally minutes to get this all done. I could say maybe 30 minutes and I can have a cup ready and done on a spinner. There's other times, like for instance, that the orange cup took me forever. That I fought that thing tooth and nail. I scraped it off. I redid it like 3 times. So just because I was picky. But the process is tedious. Once you have this epoxied, this has to sit on a spinner for 8 hours to cure.
Okay.
So I usually do it at night. That way in the morning, it's been 8 hours. I can go down there and I can do whatever I need to on the next go round.
The next process.
Yep.
Okay.
And again, I always let at least 8 hours for my cups to sit, at least, when I do my step-by-step. So you do your epoxy with your color, let it sit for 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Then you do your epoxy, you put your design on it, your stickers, whatever you want to use, and then you re-epoxy that, and that'll sit for another 8 hours. And I'm going to grab another glove because this is all ripped up for some reason. And you also want to make sure you get your bottom.
You want the bottom coated too.
Yep. Because that also is going to hold color.
And you can do like inlays while it's still wet. You can put decals and stickers and
Not when it's wet.
Not when it's wet.
Nope, you have to wait till it's dry to put your decals on.
I see.
And what I'm having, sometimes I'll have issues with is having the vinyl will peel up after you put the epoxy on. And once that happens, it makes it very difficult for you to be able to get the vinyl back down. It's pretty much, you're just going to have to wait until it's dry, sand down that spot, and then move on.
Try to lay it back down.
I usually just do another layer, a thin layer of epoxy to smooth it out. And see, it doesn't have to be perfect because you can see how it looks all wavy.
Mm-hmm.
With it spinning constantly, it's self-leveling, so it'll smooth out. Okay? So now that that's done, now we want to pour our paint. Now when you do your paint pouring, you want to... Here, I'm going to pour this one just so you can see. And don't pour all of it because you want to kind of mix and match it.
Okay. And
this is where the mat comes in and being handy. Just take it. And when you feel like you have it enough coverage, go to a different color.
But I like it black and purple.
I do too.
Ridiculousness.
Here. I can throw paper towels like it's no tomorrow.
All right, so it really does look cool already.
It really does look cool.
That's a cool looking cup.
Like my mom would totally use this cup if I put like a raven face on the side or something.
And I can totally do that. That's my next step.
She doesn't watch. She doesn't watch.
Oh.
We're good.
Now see, this is actually a little bit thin. So I'm going to thicken this up a little bit.
So what is that, blue?
Yeah, this is like a teal color.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does it look like to you?
It's a little powdery on the camera, at least what I can.
This is like I would say like a tropical teal
Like
color.
aqua. I think that's what it's called.
All right.
Yeah. And just take it and...
I'm sorry, cup. You're so pretty.
I know. It's like, don't be scared.
I'm ruining it.
No, you're not. Because see, when you got a big bubble like that, you just take another color and you just put it over top of it. It splits it up and you don't even know.
This one looks like brain matter.
Yep, that's okay.
All right.
So let's do the other blue.
Now that one looks pretty close to the color of the gloves.
Yes.
At least for...
Oh, yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, oh wow.
No,
color
it's
of the
totally
gloves?
different.
Yeah, and the gloves are much more purple in real life. I don't know what's going on with the color. Maybe it's I'm not sure what folks can see, but...
This looks really cool. I like it.
Yeah, and I can see how forgiving this is, really, too.
That's
You know
what I
Like,
love about it is that you can make a mess and be like, oh God, I messed it up. And then just add a little bit
and
more
just
color.
keep going. Yeah.
And it's fine. And then if it has too much, it'll just drip off.
I want to make a black and white one like a mummy cup.
Yeah.
Can do that.
Okay. So
So
just
now,
move on.
and I don't even know if you're going to need any black in this one. So I would just pour a little bit of white.
I love white space.
Mm-hmm. Like I would definitely do that big spot there. Anything that has like a big spot. That's actually a little thin.
Should I add more white?
Let's add a little bit more. because that was a lot more in this container. I'm going to add more green to this guy too to thicken him up.
Tiffany, can you add images that were like stamped and colored on paper or cardstock instead of like vinyl? Or do you know?
If we have a piece of paper that has a image that was stamped and colored on it, could we inlay this in the epoxy? Will it fade the image? Like if we colored it with markers?
My problem would be getting it to stick to the cup.
I'd imagine that it would be wet, yeah.
If
Like
you
at some
don't
point.
have any kind of something that has a stick to it, as far as like the vinyl has a sticky side.
Right.
Get that right there, so you have white. I would be, and that's what I'm saying. I'm still having issues with just the vinyl itself pulling up on a dry cup. So
Might have problems with the paper.
yeah, I would think you would have problems with the paper. I wouldn't know how you would actually physically get it to stick to the cup.
Maybe there's a special paper that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Well, Sharon
that
was
has
saying
kind
maybe
of a
maybe
drip.
a gold or
That's
silver
okay.
ink on some vellum.
Huh?
Sharon was saying maybe a gold or silver ink on vellum might be something that could go down because the vellum's got more of a plastic property. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know anything.
So you guys can see that this has like a big bubble here, and there's this big spot here, and it's kind of running.
They look like boogers.
That's okay. It'll all go away.
It's made with love.
And this one I'm just using light because I don't want a lot of green in this.
I think this cup looks super cool.
Is this for his team?
Yes.
Okay. So these are his colors. Your husband's colors.
Yes.
Okay.
This is our race colors.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. The blue, it's blue, purple, and we just started adding a little bit of the neon green into it.
Uh-huh.
That's new this year. So, see, I'm just kind of just breaking up this white because there's a lot of white.
I love the white.
I know.
I love the white space.
I know.
I like it.
I do too.
It's kind of neat.
Now, we can't forget the bottom.
Oh, crap.
So, when you do bottoms,
This looks really cool.
doesn't that
today.
look really cool? That's what I'm saying. I poured it into a dish and just made it a little dish for her. That's it.
You just try to pour it at the very
Just
edge.
drizzle it on. And once it starts to turn, can you see that?
Yeah.
Once it does its turning, it'll all swirl together. Like, can you pull that one off and look at the bottom of that one? You can see that. No.
Here's my glove trick. You put the glove on inside out over the other glove.
Why didn't you tell me that before?
Now you have a clean
'Cause
hand.
now I have a weird. I couldn't get it on.
Think of all
So,
the gloves
this
you'll
is the
save
bottom?
from now on.
Huh?
I told Tiffany, just think of all the gloves she's going to save from now on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's usually when I have to reach for something
Throw
with
that,
my
turn
hand.
it upside down again. Let's look at the down cam.
The bottom.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And this has like gold glitter in it.
That has a little bit
so
of gold
do you
in
add
it.
the glitter at this point?
Yes. So this is actually glitter. Same thing. It's a glitter
Glue?
acrylic paint.
Oh, okay.
Just the acrylic paint. And I just added just a little bit in it just to give it a little bit of depth, I guess you could say, to it. Just to kind of change it up.
Oh, so you don't actually broadcast actual glitter into it?
You can. And that would be the step here as well. So, for instance, like her cup.
It's okay, I don't like that step anyway.
Oh,
We
I
can
have
skip
clean
that.
hands right now.
All right, grab your cup. If you look at the bottom of her cup, because she just wanted a little bit of glitter, it is just glittered on the bottom.
Yeah. Well,
And then it has a little bit of sparkle throughout the paint that
Turn-
goes
turn it
through
up.
the whole thing.
bottom. There you go. Oh yeah, you can see kind of like some pink flecks and the gold in the bottom.
iridescence of the glitter.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it just goes up a little bit, and it just kind of fades up into the cup.
Right. I think it looks neat.
I love it. I think it's cool.
And it looks like Eddie is approving of the of the cup thus far.
Of the colors.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. All right.
All right, so what do we do next?
So I'm going to put a little bit of white, just finishing up the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to grab the heat gun.
So far, there's really nothing that's getting inside the cup.
Yeah, and I don't have a lot of issues with it. I more get just overspray from the paint, the spray paint that gets inside. You'll get occasionally a little bit of epoxy that gets in there, and I'm talking usually just a little bubble, to the fact that you can take a little bit of
Does it ever
light
affect
sand.
the seal on the caps?
It can, if you have too much on
That's
it.
why you clean it up.
That's
real
why
well.
you make sure that you really sand on the inside of the cup to make sure that you get that smooth edge, so it doesn't have because it'll pop the lid right out of it. Okay, I think that one's good.
So
now we're gonna leave this one sit. I didn't even use any black at all. Didn't have to.
I think it looks good.
Really like that.
So
now that we're gonna let that one sit.
This one has sat. This one's fully cured.
Yep. So this will be our next one. So now what we need to do is.
Can we use the same cup?
Yes.
Is all of these colors and stuff unless you're making another project, like right now you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Done with all of it. Don't need it. It just can go in the trash.
Okay.
Now, like for instance, like I have this much epoxy left with the black. I would pour that in a mold and make something, whatever mold I have, and then I can just do the same thing with the other ones to kind of change the color to give it like that effect to a mold. So
that looks really cool.
I know. I really like that.
So
That would make a really
to,
cool background. There's
put
like some
anything
twisted
onto the other spinner?
citron, little
You will. Okay.
So now we're gonna work on the other side.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to
a
move
little
the
peacock feathers, a little dusty Concord. Those are all ink colors.
Okay. So now for this guy, we're gonna mix up more epoxy, and since we already have I don't think we're gonna need that big cup. Let's take him off.
Okay.
So this is where you might want to just take your gloves off if you want, because we're not going to need it for right now.
Don't look at me.
I'm sorry.
So you want to get our pictures.
Okay, these are the pictures.
Now I've cut one, and the other one has not been cut. So this has already been printed, and you want to grab
letters.
that. Grab the other thing too, so I can show that. Also got this on Amazon, and this I really love. This is printable vinyl. This particular one you can use for inkjet or laser printers. Most of the stuff that I find that you have to print, you're going to find it more so for the inkjet printers, not the lasers. So I like this because it does both.
Okay.
And it doesn't have an effect on it. So you can see this is a laser, this is an inkjet.
Okay.
You can actually see the difference.
Yeah, that's
Could you
way
pull that
nicer.
under the camera,
Yeah,
please?
over here.
You see that?
So this is the laser,
Oh, yeah.
and this is the inkjet. So you can see how much more vibrant the colors are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I reprinted it so it would look better. Even the car, I have another one that I've the one that's completed that I did with the
Did Eddie get a new car?
this year. We got a new car this year.
I just noticed that the picture wasn't what I was accustomed to seeing.
We moved up to Crate Late models.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Compliments of our sponsor, which is who we're making the cup for.
How are we
Oh,
on time?
53 and 20. We're doing just fine.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you want to show them how you
So-
use the Cricut to print
Yep.
or cut out your images?
This over here.
Am I in the way?
Nope,
Probably
you're fine.
need the front facing for this one.
You're on front facing left.
So this is my little handy dandy Cricut machine that I absolutely love. This was the best.
pretty.
It was the best investment I ever had. Now, when you print the printable vinyl, it'll give you this black strip around it. This is an indicator marker. What this does is allow the machine to read how far in the image actually is. So it'll go around and it'll read all the sides to figure out where its image is at.
Is that a sticky mat also?
This is a sticky mat.
And I do see hair on it,
Yes, there's hair.
but
I have pets.
it is sticking.
And this is a lighter. This is a light grip. I prefer the lighter grips than the harder grip, like the heavy grips. The heavy grips are harder to get the actual.
So yours has a grip.
Yeah.
Proceed.
They don't often stay that way around here.
No, well, mine don't either at home, and I try to, but sometimes it just doesn't work so well. Okay, So this is Cricut Design Space, which I do all my creating of all my images. And what I will do is once I have all my images ready, we're going to go to make it.
I'm sorry you guys can't really see this well.
You can see a little bit of it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not sure how.
So what's showing on the screen is this image right here. So it's telling me to print it or cut it. I've already printed it. So what I'm going to do is hit continue. And it says send to printer or I've already printed. So I want I've already printed. And then my machine's going to blink, which tells me it needs to be loaded. And it just sits there. You just hold it. And then it's going to feed it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to tell me to cut it. That's it. So what it'll do first is it'll do its...
To check the guidelines.
Yep, check the guidelines to see where it needs to cut.
Now, it knows this because you printed it from the same workspace.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so the image that you see on my computer is the exact same image that's on here.
Mm-hmm.
So I had printed this prior to coming, so it would be a fresh print.
Right.
But I wanted to show the actual
Mm-hmm.
cut process of it. And it's all in the same screen.
Is it still, like, it's not cutting anything
Nope,
yet?
it's still doing its measurements. See how the little light's on? It's
See,
still
it's
doing
far
its...
more precise than the one I have.
It certainly seems to be. At least that's what I mean. Just as I'm watching this for the first time, it certainly looks like it's taking a lot more time to
Yes.
measure than
I've seen
the other
Cricut,
one.
like, at trade shows and whatnot, but I've never owned one. So
You don't know what you're missing.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you...
I'm sure I do.
Misty,
trust me,
but-
you would take the other machine and literally throw it into the trash.
Misty would like to know if you can do this on a silhouette Cameo.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. I don't know what that is.
Probably any
Kind of cutting
electronic
machine.
cutting
you can,
machine.
Yes.
There we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever machine you use and you cut your image, it's the same thing.
And really, if you had any kind of vinyl, like if you were
Mm-hmm.
die cutting, if you wanted to use your dyes, you could die cut a word die or something, and use that vinyl on your cup. Now
I
that
see.
for sure would work. So you can use your dyes, just cut it out of the same vinyl that you're going to use in this machine, and then you can use your word dyes. It's just the images because you have to stamp them. You have to stamp them and color them in some way. So I don't know how you would use a stamped image, but the die cuts would work.
Yeah. And you have the lettering, right?
I handed that to you.
It was
Yep.
under my butt. Okay. So this has already been... This could be a little bit tricky to see just because it's white. I've already did these and cut it out. Again, these are... The one is our sponsor. The Stevens Auto Transport is our sponsor. The other one is I'm making it for our crew chief. So that's what the two cups are. So the first one we're going to do, which is this one, is going to be the Stevens Auto Transport.
Okay.
Okay.
So we gotta wait for this first, right?
No, it's done.
Okay. Oh wow.
That's it.
Well, the timing is like she intended it to be just like that. I mean, as far as from sitting in my position, it looks like you really knew that it was going to take exactly that long.
And just peel it off.
So do we put this on, or we take it off for the application of the images?
You're gonna, and I do all my own, just trying to make sure that it's as even as possible. It is difficult to do because the fact that the cup is not completely the same size.
Right.
So of course it tapers to get smaller. So you want to make sure that you put an image here and an image here.
Right.
If you do an image all the way down this type of cup, what you're going to find is it's going to lift right here. The vinyl's going to lift. It's really tricky to do. And again, this is one that I've done. I have done them, and it takes a little bit of extra epoxy to kind of cover it to make it sealed.
So when you're thinking about your design, try to think of it as two different spaces.
Yes. And also, you don't want it to fill up the whole entire space because of it being tapered. So you want to be careful on how much you're putting down because it will, if you have it to fill the whole space, your vinyl or whatever is going to wrinkle.
Right.
And once it wrinkles, it's just wrinkled.
I don't want to wrinkle.
Nobody wants a wrinkle.
She doesn't iron.
Okay, so we don't need that one.
Wrinkles are bad around here. Wrinkles end up in my
I don't
pile.
even know where our iron is.
It's in the shed.
In the shed. That's a good place for it.
I don't even want to know.
That was where I was the last time I needed it.
Oh, okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm just peeling the sticky off. And when you get more intricate, like I did with the lettering, it's called weeding. You're just weeding all that extra unneeded.
See, this is easy weeding.
This is easy weeding. I did all the harder weeding earlier. And the only weeding I really have to do are just these windows.
So you're just taking out the negative space.
Yep, that's it.
So why do you cut out the windows?
I just cut out, because this was an actual picture of... This
Kinda like
is
you're
him.
seeing through the
This
window.
is actually him on the track a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And I took the picture and took out the background on this, so I could put just the car on the picture, on the actual cup.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so now you just peel this off, just like so, and then you're gonna put this as straight as you possibly can. And I usually go from center out, just so you can get make sure you don't get any wrinkles in there. And it makes it look like it's more centered on where you need it to be on the cup. And just make sure that it's nice and sealed.
Yeah, get all your bubbles.
Mm-hmm. Try to make sure that vinyl is really on there. Okay. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
And then our other one we're going to put on the back, which I'm going to let you do. If I can get it off.
This is gonna fit on there?
Uh-huh. I already did a run through. I know it works. I can't get this to cut. There we go. It's the only problem. Even on the lightest setting, I have issues with it cutting too far in. And then just center
Okay. So this goes in the center
of the car.
right here.
Sure.
Could you get that a little higher up?
I don't want to screw this up.
Yeah.
Here, hang on. Hang on.
Hold it in a more precarious position so you're
Here.
guaranteed to mess it up.
Move this. Just so that's out of your way. There you go. And then you can still have it
That
for the
cup
camera.
is mesmerizing. I'm like, ooh, look at that cup. All right, so
Careful, because you don't want to get in the messiness.
In the goo.
Goo. Oh my God.
what?
No, I'm just kidding. It looks good. Perfect.
All right, no bubbles or anything.
Okay, so now we were going to do our transfer. And what you can use transfer tape. I have tape around here somewhere.
This one?
Ta-da! I just use paint tape. And this is really lightweight paint tape.
Mm-hmm.
To do these. Let's move it over here so we can see in the camera. Just so you can transfer it. The transfer tape that you can buy in the stores is a lot thicker and it really sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very hard to see. Even this, look how hard it is to come off. What I try to do is try to make it as even as possible when you're actually doing your lettering. So I put it right straight across the bottom just to give you a reference of when you're putting it.
To put your letters on straight.
Yeah, if I could actually do it.
Yeah, we're constantly searching for low tack tape. We want it to stick,
Hard.
but we only want it to stick a certain amount.
Yes.
The snot tape. Isn't that the one that you've
Well,
been
snot
favoring?
tape. I'll show you snot tape.
Ooh.
It might be something that you're interested in.
Okay.
It's basically a piece of paper tape with a strip of jelly on both sides. I'll show it to you. It's very interesting. Although I haven't been able to find it online recently, so I'm not sure If they're still selling it, Tim.
You're just gonna be a pain, aren't you? And I just sometimes...
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, the snot tape.
Oh, I was talking to Tiffany if she was asking if I was being a pain.
No. The vinyl's being a pain. Because, like I said, even on my lightest setting, because it's a newer blade, it just cuts right through the paper. So, and see how it just peels it up?
Yeah.
Which is fine, because if it peels on here, all you have to do is take your little weeding tool and then just...
Fix it up.
Yeah, and it comes right off. So this... Where do we
You
want
need
to
to
put it?
rig something to hold the cup for you.
They have something. I've seen it. And I don't remember where I saw it. And I didn't get it. So now I have no idea. So yeah, because you want it to try to be as straight as possible.
So where do you want?
Do you want
the
it there?
cup or the numbers?
I don't know.
The car or the numbers?
I don't know. I think that.
Okay.
So
if you want it crooked, hand it to me.
Hey, I'm
All
just
right.
going to be just as bad.
I'm going down low.
I
or
would
up high.
No. I would go down low because
Okay.
you have Stevens Auto Transport. So I would put that right up to the bubble as much as you possibly can.
Oh, I walked down and it's quiet. Just went to
I'm
park at the
concentrating.
kids. Oh boy.
Now the good thing is when it sticks on the cup, it sticks pretty well. That
Okay.
you can just pretty much just pull the tape
So
off.
now I
Just
can
pull off
pull it-
slowly. Mm-hmm.
Look at that. It's not lined up. And it's a little crooked. Looks like a lot of my cards.
That's okay.
There, that bubble's fixed.
It's made with love.
Yes, exactly. Lisa says grace.
She's already dropped that pearl of wisdom a few times tonight.
What?
Is she in the live chat?
Yeah, she's here.
Hi, Lisa.
Okay, so now we want to do auto.
All right, so I can use this same sticky thing.
Mm-hmm. Because it's still sticky.
Amanda says that the new purple tape is pressure sensitive.
Pressure sensitive.
I
The
assume
new,
that to be
I still have like one roll of purple tape the old purple tape that I have to use. It's a type of tape that we use in paper crafting. I don't have the new one to show you, but I have the old one, the old version. I left this. It's not going to get the A.
Yeah, it is. Much. Sometimes you need to manipulate the paper.
See, I'd be cussing now.
I want to cuss for you.
Said it can be tedious. And it just depends on what all you're doing. I want to make sure that all is going to fit on there.
She looks nervous.
Because I messed it up.
I'm a little nervous because I didn't measure this.
Well, we can put Stevens Auto and then Transport on the other side.
Yeah. Just try to butt that up to the bottom.
Here, we'll tuck it right up underneath the A.
Right up underneath there.
Oh, yeah, this is going to fit really perfect. Look at this.
Dun, dun, dun.
Boom. Transport is not going to fit. It's all right.
Wait a minute, we ain't done yet. Let's see.
Well, see this ridge right here.
That's okay. I ain't worried about that ridge. That ridge is little. Bam. All right, Transport. We're going to make you work.
It is a little hot under these lights.
Uh-huh, a little bit.
All right.
Do we need bigger tape?
No.
Don't blow up the other letters.
Oh, shite.
I like it when it's her first time doing something and she's a little uncomfortable, you know?
Great.
Yeah, because she's like,
I'm sweating over
Oh.
here.
yeah, she's not the expert today.
I'm never
So,
the expert.
Well, you are when I'm making a card.
Yeah, compared to you. All right. Transport.
Man, I'm nervous. Why am I nervous? I'm sitting over here like, clenching my fists in my teeth.
It's good.
Good Lord.
All right.
Get this out of the way.
Transport. It's not gonna...
We can make it work. We can make it work.
We'll put it all the way over here so that the T, so it's like Saturday night. And then, yeah. And it's really crooked. So this is like, we'll call this the teenager wrote it in her notebook.
Put out.
You had one job.
Okay, let's just see. Oh, I know, I did it on purpose.
But this looks really pretty.
Oh, and that's like spinning in the foreground right now. It's beautiful.
Okay, hold that. Hold it towards me so I can see.
There's a lot of do as I say, not as I do in this house.
Without a doubt.
Okay,
Without a
get
doubt.
this a little bit. Okay.
It's not exactly a positive thing, but
No, but it's a factual thing.
Ta-da! It's a little off, but that's okay. Oh,
But
it's
you
way
know-
off.
But you know what? I like it. I think it looks like it's got some beach vibes. I like it.
What the hell did I do?
It looks good.
Oh, it's awful.
That was me.
All I know is I saw several things getting applied with not one measurement being taken.
Nope.
And that is not Corey's strong point.
Why
Like
do you
measurement?
measure things?
Oh, I don't measure anything. Do you know how many times I had to cut your Death Star? 3 times. 3 times I had to cut that Death Star. 3 times.
It looks fantastic.
It looks great.
Yeah, I like it now. But the first time, I don't know what I was thinking. It was like this big. I don't know if I was looking at the wrong sizing on my Cricut, but it was huge. I'm like, that's way too big. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll make it, I don't know, 4 inches. 4 inches was too big. 3 inches was perfect.
I like it.
We're going to leave it because that's the way it's going to stick.
I think it's very
Sorry,
beachy.
Jeff.
Who's with me in the live chat? It looks very spray
Watch it.
painty.
All
It's
right, so
totally
on the-
my style.
It's on the down cam, so just put it in and present it. And scroll it through, roll it so that everybody can see.
We have the Stevens Auto Transport.
Transport.
I think it's great. You know what? It still fits liquid in there.
That's right. That's the important thing.
All right.
Okay.
So now what? Now we seal this up, or do we put
Seal it
more?
up,
Wait,
so-
don't you have numbers?
Numbers? No, that's for the other cup.
Okay.
That's for this one.
She's like, didn't you do enough? She's like, stop it. I have to give these
We
to
don't
other
need to
people.
put
These are
anything
not
else
for
on
you.
this cup.
It's
okay?
done. We're leaving it just the way it is.
Okay. So this
Okay.
goes back on the
Yep.
spinny.
And then we're just going to mix up more epoxy to cover that.
I don't know how well this is going to be seen.
Well, I can tell you in just a second.
Here. Got you covered. I know.
Epoxy finger.
Slide. Yeah, there you go.
We good?
Yep.
Make sure it's all the way in. Okay, good.
You might want to try that because I don't have any strength in my arm.
You're good. It's like as long as it's on there. Okay. And then again. Oh, we didn't hit that with the heat gun.
We have to hit that with the heat gun?
Yes.
It has like waves in it.
It will. And it's just because of the difference of the thickness that you, with the putting the paint in there, it gives it a little bit of a different thickness. Now, when you put your final coat on, it will, thank you, it'll even it out. So with your heat gun, you do not want to put a lot of heat on this. A lot of heat, all it's going to do is make this run.
Okay.
So you just want to put enough heat on here just to pop these bubbles. That's it. Or unless you actually want to change the way this looks.
The bottom looks totally cool.
See, I told you how it swirls up.
I'll have to take a picture. I'll take a picture of it with my phone.
And I just use my heat gun on a light setting.
Yeah, I'll take video. This will go on Instagram.
And usually we just got out of step. I usually do my bubble popping immediately. Just don't want that to start running. Because if the epoxy gets hot, you'll see it just start to run.
Those things.
Prairie Stork would like to know where you buy your snot tape. I know you get it at Ace Hardware, but is there anywhere else?
Let me grab that while she's making noise.
So, Ace Hardware is an American hardware store. I'm not sure. I'm sure everybody kind of has their own version of it, whether it's a Ace Hardware or True Value, but that's where she's been getting it.
And see, I just did it too much. See how it's dripping?
Oh.
That's okay. Because you know what? Because it looks kind of smeared. Come on.
Your fingers. Okay, so this is snot tape. I have both specialty surface and multi-surface.
Special snot and regular snot?
The difference is what I consider minute. I have a lot of snot tape.
Never heard of it.
So this...
Yeah, we have a large tape budget in this house.
It's actually painter's tape, okay? So see how it's paper? And then it has a jelly on two sides?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like the snot. Okay, so you're basically like that.
Huh.
So it doesn't have any sticky here. It has sticky here and here.
Now, see, the only thing with what I'm doing, with
You
picking
need
up the
the
letters,
vinyl.
you need it to be
Yeah.
fully sticky to
Fully
get
sticky.
all the letters.
So what I use this for
That's-
is when I'm using the horizon line to ink blend, it does a perfect little blended
Masking a line.
ink line for masking when it's a straight line. I don't like using it when it's too liquidy. It's not exactly liquid waterproof. Paint and thickness like that, viscosity with a little viscosity to it is fine, but not water.
It looks like Amazon is the hot spot to get snot
That's the only
tape.
place I've seen it online, and recently it hasn't been available.
Yeah.
So-
Tiffany,
Yeah,
how
this
long
is-
have you been making the cups?
I actually started making these in December.
Oh, really? So this is a new hobby.
So
for you.
it's new. So I'm learning as I go.
I saw her start to share them on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, you want to share cups, do ya?"
Okay.
We have just the venue for that.
And you can see how thick that is now to pour that because it's starting to cure.
And I see how the heat kind of takes the bubbles out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's a big bubble in here. I just want to get back to it. Right there.
Wow, look at that.
Isn't that cool?
I wish that you guys could see this, like an up close of how she just annihilated that bubble.
That's what I'm saying. And you can just...
Do you want to slide that thing over to your right, Corey? Move the whole machine over about 6 inches. Okay. Stop. And
I'm not sure if there's
to,
any
We'll be
more-
able to see her treat another bubble if one shows up.
There's one.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
We used to have to pop bubbles at Papa John's.
Yes, we did.
We had a big stick with a
That's
pitchfork
ridiculous.
on the end.
That's ridiculous. I like the bubbles in pizza.
I hate the bubbles. All right. See those line of bubbles? Boom.
Oh, wow.
Gone.
We did actually get to see that.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
There's like little ones, but
There's little ones, and you can take the time to really heat it up and get it, but it's not really
Right
distorting it. Yeah, it's like that same spot.
See, it just popped back up.
Did it pop up?
It's being frustrating. So, okay, so now this needs to cure for 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put your stickers and stuff on. So now we mix up another batch of epoxy
Mm-hmm.
and spread it on just like we did when we first coated this one.
Right, but this one's just going to be a light layer of epoxy because it's going to be your final finish coat. You don't have to do a real thick layer.
Okay.
And especially like when you're doing what I have noticed doing over top of vinyl on there, if the vinyl does decide to lift a little bit, it gives you that extra space where you can put an extra coat of epoxy on there.
I mean, should we not put epoxy on here and let you like peel these stickers back off? Does that happen?
Say that again.
Can you peel these stickers back off? Like if we screwed
Right
it up,
now?
it's a little
Yeah.
crooked. Yeah. So you can, should we not put the epoxy on there so that you can fix it? It's okay. I'm not offended.
No, for real. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's...
Well,
don't-
and it's just because of the, like I said, the
I wanna-
tapering. It's
yeah.
the tapering of the cup. It
Yeah.
makes it tricky.
I want it
so
to look nice. So I've kind of ruined the final step of this for everyone. But so to finish the cup, you just do the same epoxy coat that we did.
Yep, you
at
do the
beginning.
1-to-1 ratio, and it'll just be the clear
Yeah.
epoxy like we do the first layer. The first level that we do is just a
Right.
clear epoxy just to get it, basically to get the cup wet.
Right.
Is all it is.
And then it takes another 8 hours to dry.
Then another 8 hours to dry. And these bubbles keep popping up.
So how long would you sit here and fight with these bubbles?
I've never had a reoccurring bubble like this. That just keeps popping up and popping up.
call
Usually
those-
once you hit it,
We
it's,
call those camera bubbles.
yeah.
It's happening because it's on...
I don't like
We're
it.
live on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
I love mine. So what time? What time is it, Tim?
Does it matter?
Well, we have a discussion question.
Well, it's 9:22. Maybe we should discuss.
Holy cow.
You're terrible.
I'm terrible.
You're terrible. We went over
Way over.
Yes, I understand that, but there's certain things that I figured you were already rushing with the stickers. I figured I would let that just kind of roll because I didn't want you to mess anything else up.
Well, our discussion question this evening comes from fellow procrastinator Lori, and she basically wanted us to discuss mass production and how to stay ahead of holiday crafting. Do you do holiday crafting?
I do some.
You do? When do you start holiday crafting?
Usually way too late is my problem. I'm usually definitely the procrastinator.
Procrastinators.
That would be it.
It's
If
a
I can
shameless
get
plug.
a wild hair and decide to do early, I would anytime during the year.
Yeah.
October is usually a good time to start.
July, sometimes we get a wild hair because of Christmas in July. Then we
Yes.
start getting motivated.
Yes.
Like, oh, Christmas is 6 months
That
away.
kind of has happened to me
Yeah.
already.
But typically,
Sucker.
I don't have a whole. I know some people that have Christmas card lists that are hundreds of people long. I don't have that.
I don't do Christmas cards.
Yeah, that's terrible. You should do Christmas cards.
I started to, and then I stopped, and then I started again, and then just...
It's sad because I don't get any Christmas cards back hardly at all this time now.
Yeah.
Like I used to get a lot more back, and now
Yes.
I'm lucky to get one of those, photographs with like an update printed on it of some sort.
Uh-huh.
It's just, I think that's a lot to do with the sign of the times, and it's one of those things that people aren't taking the time to send greeting cards very
Yeah.
much anymore.
Yeah. And greeting cards have gotten so expensive. What is great with you that creates them.
Way more expensive to make them.
Oh, I know it is.
But I typically, when I'm trying to mass produce something, I break it down into steps. There are certain cards that I would and certain cards that I would not try to mass produce. So like, let's take this cup. Would you mass produce something like this?
No.
Because of why?
There's not a lot. There are a lot of Star Wars fans, but is there a lot of Star Wars fans that are wanted to go to Disney like you?
Is there Star Wars fans that love glitter?
Yes. But maybe what you could mass produce would be the cups, like spray painting the cups. But the thing is, people want specific sizes. I mean, you can go as small as like a 12-ounce cup to up to a 45-ounce cup is what I found
That's
for
all
you.
for me.
So
That's
this
it. That's what I
reminds
want.
me that
That's the one.
if you are interested in discussing a custom cup with Tiffany, her email address is in the description box of the video, so you can email her. But you can also try it yourself. It's very fun. I hear them.
Yeah.
They've been
They're
good.
getting antsy.
They've been good.
But
up a
when
couple of
when I try to mass produce something, I break it down into steps, and then I'll have everything cut out. Like when I do parties, I like to do crafting like events, and when I'm prepping for those, I try to break it down into steps. So like this is step 1, this is step 2, and then I get through all the steps, just like if I were teaching it, I guess.
And that's probably similar to any advice that I would have as well, would be to identify something
And to start
that's,
as early as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for that, of course. But when it comes to production, replicate a single step as many times as possible. So
Right.
if you're cutting something out, cut the same thing out. If you need 100 of them, cut 110. That way you don't have to go back to the cutting process
And
case
start
you
all
mess
over
something
again.
up. So give yourself a little bit of space, a little bit of grace. Did you just?
I sterilized my phone.
Totally missed the hand.
Just
completely.
trying to put some alcohol on my hands.
Yeah.
I got the cup.
Totally got the phone.
But
Tiffany,
are there?
you do not have Instagram or something like that?
I do have Instagram. I'm not a big user of it.
Is it
I
something
am going to
you wanna
start.
share, or?
I'm going to start a Facebook page for this. That's going to be like my next step. I just, like I said, with me just starting and just kind of, getting out there, I have not done it yet. This bubble is driving me nuts.
Well, there's definitely
one
some
wants to
folks that
stay.
are looking forward to finding a way to connect with you.
Sure.
And it looks like there's some people who want to see what you might be selling too. So they were asking about an Etsy shop and an Instagram. So
I'm trying to
Yeah.
talk to her about it, but my Etsy shop hasn't been doing that great, so I
And-
don't have a lot to say.
I haven't really thought, like I said, this is all still new for me. I haven't really gone very far with the process. I've just really started getting into it. Like I said, these are the ones I did for Disney, and then I was just like, I just want to start making, and then I went to this one. And then once I made this one, then I was like, oh, I could really get into this.
yeah.
And then I really started. Being a crafter, I already had tons of paint, tons of glitter. Now I just have more paint and way more glitter. But I love the fact that no cup is the same. Every cup is different. You can completely make it whatever you want.
Yeah, and even when it comes to mass production of cards, even if I'm making the same exact card, they're all different.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
if I'm coloring the image, no matter if I'm coloring it 1 or 2 or 50 times, they're all going to be different. And
Right.
that's the beauty of handmade.
And there's an element to this that I like too, right? To this particular thing. I mean, everybody hears me on here week after week or month after month, whatever it is, and talk about how I'm not crafty, and I'm not. But this is the kind of thing that has a bit of an appeal to me because it's like the ADD's friend. It's the craft friend for a person with ADD, because you could kind of come in and do it, hit it with a shot of spray paint and move on, go do something else for a while, and then kind of come back and do another step and kind of come back. It would be perfect for something, for somebody like me, you know what I mean? Because I can't stay at one spot long enough.
But I want to be done. Like, I want to continue on to the next step. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to walk away from it because I want to, like, hurry it up.
You want to hurry it up. And there's definitely no hurrying in the
Yeah.
cup process.
Yeah.
Just because it needs the time to cure. And that's what I kind of like about it too, Tim, is the fact that I can do this. I can work a full day. I can make a cup. I can go to sleep, wake up, cup's done. I can do the vinyl that day, do it at night,
Right.
put the vinyl on it, go to sleep, and the cup's done.
In small
Yeah,
steps.
and
Yeah.
each one of those steps, it looks to me, I mean, if even with your instructional side of it, you know what I mean, you're trying to teach the process, even with that, the mixing of the epoxy
it's
was
about an
relatively
hour.
quick, and then the addition of the paint and things like that, whipping that up. So if you really wanted to sit there and think about putting a step together, once you spray paint it and you're ready to go ahead and apply this stuff, you could probably apply that to your cup within the first 25-35 minutes, I think, based on what I saw today.
Yeah.
And for something where you just have a small window of time while while
Right.
the casserole's in the oven, you know what I mean, kind of thing. Like it's
I've
the
done that.
perfect kind of
I've
thing.
gotten stuff in the oven, gone downstairs, and put the cup in, and got the paint on it, and went back upstairs and finished dinner.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's some that will take longer depending on what you want. Like for instance, this one, how it has 3 layers.
Right.
With this having the 3 different layers, and it has multiple. Like this is 1 color, this is 2 colors, and this is about 4 colors. So it doesn't look like it, but it's been manipulated to do it.
And then that's when you go down the rabbit hole of acrylic paints.
This was a rabbit hole.
Collecting all of the paints.
This took me like some swirling and some tilting and trying to get it to work, and
Must
then
have all the things.
yeah, some of them are tricky. This was
I
trickier
really
than
like
others.
that cup. That
Yeah,
one
that
is
one's
the one that caught my eye.
That's my favorite.
So, are there any questions in the live chat?
I've been staying pretty much on top of them. I mean, like I said, there's definitely an indication that folks want to see more of what you can do.
Okay.
So if you decide that you want to share some more, in the meantime, make sure we leave the email address in the description box. That way, everybody can get in touch with you should they want to.
Any tips for mass production?
No, it's Prairie Stork said just to send them out next year. So get a year ahead of time. Just right off the end of the year this year.
These are cards for next year.
Yeah.
I mean,
2021.
it's not a bad
That's
idea.
right.
But, Tracy needs 250 cards, Christmas cards annually. So she pretty much makes them all year long.
Right. I
So-
know that there are a lot of
Wow.
crafters that do that. Just keep plugging away at them all year round, and then in December they'll have enough that they need. But I only probably send out like 50 cards.
I bet you don't even send that anymore.
Yeah. Well, because I just don't make that many of them.
And my list has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it was just like,
Yeah.
Well, and so many people just feel just confident in saying, "Oh, you check my Facebook, right?" Like,
Yeah, I don't like
It's
that
still-
as much.
it's just not as
I make it a
personal.
point to not talk to people on their feeds. Like I really do. Like I really try to carry the conversation into another position, even if I do connect with them that way.
Christmas cards are when you walk in the front door and you see all the Christmas cards that were
Yes.
sent to you. It's a feeling of joy that you get.
I agree.
And so even if it's a Hallmark card or one of the printable update pictures of people's babies, whatever they choose to send,
I'm not
it's
trying
the
to.
collection of love that you have there.
I'm not trying to say that it's
Yeah.
a bad thing or that it's unnecessary. I just think that that's what people have kind of gravitated towards doing, is just thinking that folks have, they already know what's up. The Christmas letter doesn't get written anymore.
No,
because
it doesn't.
people follow you on Instagram.
Can we
and
email
Facebook,
Santa? Can we send him a text message?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no,
That's
you
how it
can
is.
call him now.
We'll just call
now
him.
Now you can just.
We call Santa.
Yeah, see. Judy wants to know if the tropical cup got done one color at a time.
Nope.
No.
All at once. I did.
Same way that you just did this other one.
Yes. But with that, I did more of a straight pour. Come on, where's my spot at? Just to make sure that they would blend together. I wanted that spot right there. It was bothering me. Sorry. See, the more you sit here, the more you want to just keep playing with it. I wanted them to be able to blend. So you can see here how you can see that it is blended together.
Sure.
Even down here, the pink actually went way further down than I had wanted it to. So I had to tilt it to try to get the paint to run the opposite direction. And the same thing with the sand color. The sand color was just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So again, I tried to tilt it to get this, the colors to kind of slide upward. But with this, I just did a solid pour Versus where I would do just the lines on it, I would take one color and pour it just in this area and just take my finger and just kind of just smear it a little bit just so it would be uniform.
So I'm not going to do it, but what happens if you just take like a brush of some kind and like, oh wow, this is hard as a rock.
Don't use that
I don't
one.
know what was on this one, but like if you went like this while it was on the turner.
It would just change the coloration of it. All it's really going to do is start to blend your colors more and more. The more that you try mixing them together, as
you
far
got to be
as,
careful because you'll get brown.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you just want to try to, if you're just doing a solid color, to try to keep your colors,
Right.
you know, or just to pour like this and just leave it. It'll blend out more like it has because it was, you know, you seen the solid lines.
Will it change much at this point?
At this point, it may change a little bit, not much. I don't see this one changing much more than what it already is. So that's pretty much what the final product is going to look like. I really love the bottom though.
Yeah, I'm going to share a picture of the bottom. It looks like tie-dye.
Oh,
And a
really?
swirl.
Yeah. So
That one turned out really
our
good.
next the craft cast is going to be on September 20th.
Ooh, that's a big gap.
Yeah, because we were early on this one.
And we're going on vacation.
And we're going on vacation.
So, y'all can wait.
Vacation! September 20th, we're going to have Janelle Nellybiddle, and she's a mixed media artist. I'm trying to get her to come here in studio. She lives in Pennsylvania, but she's still deciding that, so we'll see.
Well, that's going to be potentially 3 in a row.
Yeah, I like having friends.
Well, I like it a lot better than the Zoom meeting because I keep, even last time with Zoom, we still couldn't get that to work.
Yeah.
Gina
So.
couldn't connect with us, so.
Limited on the times we live in right now, though.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, if anyone has a question, you can leave it in the comments below. I'll be happy to respond. Otherwise, you can email Tiffany, and that's it.
This was cool. This was definitely a neat, different thing. I'm showing the cup again. It's beautiful.
I think it's cool.
Thank you. She did a good job.
It's not on the letters.
We'll work on that one.
Maybe
That's okay.
maybe stickers aren't her thing.
Stickers, yeah. Maybe not.
That's okay. We'll work on it.
Well, bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody have a nice night. Be safe. Go outside.
Go outside. Go outside. Go
outside. We'll see y'all next month.